North and South Korean military forces
China and Russia have declared a state of emergency.
Response to the attack on the White House is
conventional
jubilant.
war could easily escalate into nuclear confrontation.
When we were testing the film with audiences, people have a real emotional reaction to the destroying of the White House. It's a big deal. It's not just a house to them, it's a symbol. So after the White House attack happens and the takeover, we felt the need to make sure that the audience still had a nice, big, exciting sequence later in the film. And that's what the Black Hawk sequence provides us.
Send in the SEAL. We're going through the roof.
The Black Hawk attack on the White House at night, that's the sequence that actually went through a number of changes, and we constantly kept changing the number of helicopters involved, how many of them get to survive, and how many of them get shot down. And we went through a lot of deliberation as to what should happen. At one point, they all get shot down. And so what we decided at the end of the editing of the sequence, we decided that there should be one helicopter that survives that has troops in it, so that our hero actually gets to save some people.
So the Black Hawk sequence we knew was going to be very tricky because you have 6 helicopters and they have to behave believably. And when you start to choreograph the movements of 6 helicopters, you suddenly find that they're big, right? And compared to the south lawn of the White House, I mean, they take up a lot of room. So we had to find ways of working the choreography and working it through pre-visualization that they have to stay, that they can't leave, because they would essentially be turning and running away from this fight, which is not what they're programmed to do.
Jacobs, you gotta abort this mission. They got the Hydra 6.
And at the same time, the Hydra weapon appears, which is this incredibly high-tech future weapon that the US has been developing, and the Koreans got their hands on it. But you know, there was a lot of moving parts to this thing, and it took quite a while actually to sort out the intricacies of who goes where when. And then the big finale, which is the last helicopter, the lead helicopter, losing control with these big bombs on their little armored wings and blowing up on the top of the White House. It's a huge shot. Obviously it had to look great, it had to be big, it had to be epic. And you know, everything I've described, it's all CG. So we had a Black Hawk shell that we had on a motion base, and that allowed us to have human beings flying around in this thing. But that gave us interiors pretty much. Anything outside the helicopters becomes a CG creation because the shell was short, it didn't have a tail on it, it didn't have rotors, it didn't have any of that stuff. So as soon as you get outside the pilots actually flying and stuff, you're into completely CG creations for the entire sequence. So relying on visual effects to tell the story of how this happens.
Abort! Abort!
And so that's a great sequence, and it was really just all done in the editing and with visual effects. And the technology is so good nowadays that you can make it all look real.